Hello everyone, welcome back to the Discrete Mathematics lecture series. In this lecture, I'll be teaching you all some special elements within the POSET. In the last lecture, I have told you how to identify if the given set is a POSET or not, what are the properties of a POSET, what are the property of a TOSET, and how to construct a Hayes diagram. Now, within that Hayes diagram, how to find out the maximal or minimal element or how to identify the special elements in a POSET. So the first thing that I'll be teaching you is maximal and minimal element. What is a minimal element? So any element within the POSET is called a minimal element if no element is related to an element. If no element is related to that element. What is the meaning of if no element is related? That the first property is it has to be a POSET. Okay. And the second property is for an element to be minimal, that there is no other element in the diagram related to that particular element. Suppose A is the element, then A is called a minimal element if there is no such element, if no such element X related to A. If in the whole Hayes diagram this condition is never true, then we can say that A is a minimal element. Or in the how can you identify this? So whenever you write that X is related to A or Y is related to A or Z is related to A, any element that is related to A. So A is in the this right hand side. So if element is minimal, and you can simply see when you create the relation set, this A will never appear in the in this side, means so this is never in this is never this never appears in the right hand side. If this is the condition that a element never appears in the right hand side, you can simply say that this is the minimal element of the POSET. Okay. And in the similar way, how can you say that a particular element is a maximal element? How can you say that? So you can simply see this using the example. So this was the minimal element. Now I'll be telling you what is a maximal element. So maximal element is, so the simple condition is an element is not related to any other element, then this is called a maximal element. Means A related to X. This condition never appears. Means A never appear in the left hand side. Means A is not related to any other element in the set. Then A is the maximal one. This is only the definition. I'll be telling you these two definition using certain examples. First of all, see the definition. If an element is not related to any other element, then it is called the maximal element of the poset. So from this you can simply say if this is an example, means if this A never appears in the right hand side, this condition is never true, then A is minimal. If A never appears in the left hand side, this condition is never true for A, then A is maximal. So now for this we have to consider certain examples. Let's see with some examples. So the first example is this. Suppose I am having a set. This is a poset. Suppose I am having a poset set 6, 7, and the relation is power set of A subset. Okay, this is my poset. Now I have to find out the maximal and minimal elements in this question, in this poset. Let's solve this. So first of all, you have to calculate the power set of A. You know that first element will be 5, second element will be 6, 7 and 6 comma 7. So this is the power set. So how to again do that? You have to draw first of all you have to draw a Hayes diagram, and then you have to find out the minimal and maximal elements. So you have to draw the Hayes diagram. For this I have already told you that the lowest level will be this element that is connected to every other element, and you have to remove reflexive edge, you have to remove the transitive edge, and we should not consider any direction. You have to simply write down. So this will be 6, this will be 7, and these two are connected to this 6 comma 7, and this will be my simple Hayes diagram. Okay, the closed one. Now you have to tell me what is a maximal element in this case and what is a minimal element. So first of all, just perform the pairing. You have to pair all the elements. So the means you have to represent the connection. So the first connection, yeah, ordered pair is the right word. Ordered pair, you have to find out all the possible ordered pairs. So first pair is this 5 and 7. Okay. Next pair is 5 and 6. What else? 5 with 6, 7. Okay. What else? 6 with 6, 7. What else? 7 with 6, 7. So these are the possible combinations that I have written here. I have simply considered all the ordered pairs. This is connected to this is connected to this is connected to then this is connected to this is also connected to this. So like this I have write down all the ordered pair. Now you have to identify one element that never appeared in this side. You have to identify element that never appear in the right hand side of this set. Simply you can identify using this technique. So this will be your minimal element. So just see the element that never appeared in the right hand side. Phi is the element that never appeared in the right hand side. This is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. Or we can simply write this. Phi is related to 7. So phi never appeared in the right hand side. So this will be your minimal element. Okay. And what will be the maximal element? See this. This never appeared in the left hand side. I mean this condition never true for 6 comma 7. So this is the maximal element and this will be your minimal element. So these any of the trick you can use to find out the maximal and minimal element within your pose set. Now consider some example, and in these example you have to first draw the pose set and then you have to find out the maximal and minimal element from the set. Okay, let's move on to the examples. So the first question is, you have to draw a pose set and find out the maximum minimal element in this D30, and this is a divide sign. So divisible by 30 and divide sign, you have to draw a pose set first, then you have to draw the Hayes diagram. Okay, this will be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15 and 30. Simple. All these elements can divide 30. Now you have to construct the Hayes diagram. So as you know, 1 is the element that is connected to every other element. So I am writing 1. Okay. What are the direct connection of 1? Okay, you can say 2, 3 and 5. So this will be 2, this will be 3, and this will be 5. You have to practice the Hayes diagram. Okay, this is 2, 3 and 5. Now what are the direct connections? 2, 3, 5. So 6 is divisible by 2 and 3 as well. Okay. Now you have to consider 10. So 10 is divisible by 2 and 10 is divisible by 5 also. What else? And we have 15 directly, sorry. So 15 and 15 is directly divisible by 3 and 5. So simply draw this 3 and 5. And above all we have 30 here, and this is divisible by 6, this is divisible by 15. So this is roughly your Hayes diagram, where this is the lowest element. So this is the lowest element and this is the greatest element. And if you want to prove, you can simply see, if you pair up one, never you we don't consider the reflexive type of relation, means AA. You should never make such, because Hayes diagram never include a self loop. So when you try to consider all the possible pair, one never appear in this side. This is never true. Okay, so 1 is the minimal one. In the same way, 30 will never appear in this side. So this is your maximal element. So this is maximal and this is minimal. And let's see another example. So as we know that any pose set can contain definitely more than one element in the lower side or in the upper side. So when you draw a diagram, it is possible that you are having multiple elements in this lower section and you are having multiple elements in this upper section. But if this is the case, this is actually tough for you to identify the maximum and minimal element. Let's see this example, and this will make all the doubts clear. So this is the question where I have a post set this, and this is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, and now I have to draw the haze diagram. So this one is directly connected to 2 2 3 2 5. Okay, now remaining elements are 4 and 6. So this is connected to this and 6 is connected to both these. Now you can simply see that in the lower level we have only one element, in the upper level we have 4 and 6, two elements. Okay, so in this case the maximal elements are 4, 5 and 6. How? 5 is not at the same level as 4 and 6. This is the important part. 5 is not as at the same level with 4 and 6, but just try to make the pairing. So the pairing, the ordered pair will be 1 comma 5. You have to move from lower to upper. I have already told you. This will be 1 comma 5, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 2, then 1 comma 6, 1 paired with 4. These are the all possible pair. The same way when you perform the pairing of 2, 2 and 4, 2 is connected to 6 and 3 is connected to 6 and 5 is not connected to anything. Okay, so just leave it. And now we have 4 that is not connected to anything, 6 is also not connected to anything. So can you tell me the minimal element? I mean element that never appeared in the right hand side, and that is every other element appeared. 2, 1 never appeared, 2 appeared, 3, 4. I missed out 1, 5 also appeared. Okay, so 1 is the only element that never appeared in the left hand side. So this is the minimal element. What about the maximal element here? How to find out the maximal element? According to the figure, you can say 4 and 6 are maximal. But when you find out, you will find out that there are more elements. Like, can you tell me the element that never appeared in the left hand section? 1, yes, it is here. 2, 3, but 4, 5 and 6. 4, 5 and 6. So in this diagram, this and this are the maximal element and this is the minimal element. So like this you have to just check if the element is maximal or minimal. If you want to see some more examples, I can show you. Okay. So this is another example. So the question is, this is post set where you have a divide operation and the set is 2, 5, 10 and 15. Simply divisibility you have to check. So 2 never divides 5, so it will appear on the same level. And this will be something like this. These two can divide 10 and 15 is divisible by 5 only. So can you tell me the maximum and minimal element? Yes. Roughly you can say when you pair up, this will become 2, 10, that's it, 5, 10, 5, 15. That's all. So maximal element means the element that never appeared in the left hand side. Maximal. So we have 15 and 10. Minimal element that never appeared in the right hand side. So we have 2 and 5. So these two are minimal and these two are maximal. In this case, we have multiple minimal and a maximal element, and this is possible. You can have maximal and multiple minimal. Let's consider one more example. You will see these type of MCQs in the tricky MCQs in your exam. So this is your relation of this single element. So tell me, if you are having a single element 0, is it a poset? So yes, you can check it. I mean, this is not right. This is the question. So yes, you can simply write it out 0 as 0. Reflexive property is true. If you want to check for transitivity is also true. 0 is related to 0. Transitivity is also true. And what about antisymmetric? As this is a diagonal element, antisymmetry is also true. So this is a poset. First thing. Yes, this set is a poset. Now, can you tell me the maximal and minimal element? So this is having only one element, 0. This 0 will be the maximal element as well as this will be the minimal element. So this is the answer. In this case, 0 is maximal as well as 0 is the minimal element. Now, let's move on to another topic, and that is greatest and least element in a poset. So you have to identify uh, in the poset, you have to identify the greatest element and you have to identify the least element. So this is the next topic of this section. So far I have told you how to identify the minimal and maximum element from a poset, and the condition is simple. If if any particular element is not related to any other element in the set, then that is the maximal element. If none of the element is related to that particular element, then that is the minimal element. Okay. Now what is the meaning of greatest and least element in a poset? So we find out greatest and least element from this maximal and minimal only. So greatest element and least element. Greatest and like maximum and minimal element were more than one, but greatest and least element will be one only. The largest element and the lowest element will be only one. So this is the main thing that you have to keep in mind. So the first property is, if you want to find out if a given number is greatest or not. So the property says it has to be a maximal element of the poset. The first property is it has to be that element. If you find out a greatest element, that element has to be the maximal element of the poset. You know how to identify the maximal element. And also, for all A belongs to A is related to B, then B is called the greatest element. What does that mean? Just telling you. Suppose B is the maximal element, okay, of the set. It is one of the maximal elements from the set. and every other element from this, or you can simply say that this always appear in this side. Then we can simply say that this is the this is the greatest element. This is the only one, and this is the greatest element. Every other element should satisfy this property. How can you say that a particular element is a least element? How can you say that? Same, the first property, it has to be the minimal element of the set. Means we find out the greatest and least from the maximal and minimal only. And also for all element B belongs to A is related to B, then A is least, then A is least. If A is related to every other element of B, then A is least. If this is the condition, means if A appear in the this side, this is least. If B appear at right hand side, and this is least. Let's consider one. Okay, let's consider with the example. So this is the trick that you can use in GATE exam or any competitive exam when you are in hurry to solve the question. You can simply use this trick. Means B has to be the maximal element, plus in every other relationship you find out that this condition is always true. Means B is always in this position. And in the same way, A is a minimal element, and in this condition is always true. A always appeared in the left side. And you can simply say that this is the greatest element and this is the least element. Let's see one example. Okay, then we have the first example is suppose I'm just drawing the haze diagram, not giving you the posed question. Simply you have to see the minimal and maximum. So this is P, this is Q, this is R, S, T, and U. So you have to simply tell me what is the minimal element and what is the maximum element in this case. So the minimal element is this. Maximal element, we have two elements for maximum. You can see from the diagram, or you can directly uh, pairing, do the pairing of ordered pair, and you can see, find out that this is the minimal one and this is the maximal one. So as we have only one element in the least section, we have only one element in the least section. So this will be the least element. Okay. And the same way, if you want to find out, so you can simply find out that P will always, if you pair up, P will always appear in the first position only. It will never appear in this side, and this is related to every other element. So this is the minimal element, as well as this is the least element. P is the least element. And now you have to find out the maximal element. So we have two candidates for the greatest position. We have the two candidates for the maximal position. So in this case, we don't have any greatest element because these two are at same level, and these two are I cannot find out one element out of these two, and I cannot say that that is greatest. So in this diagram, we have a least element. Yes, that is P, but we don't have any greatest. No greatest element. So, so simply the note is, if you are having more than one maximal or more than one minimal, you cannot find out the greatest and least. You must have only one maximal and one minimal, then only you can find out the greatest and least element. Okay. The second question, where you can easily find out the maximal and minimal element. So you can note it down that it is important to have a single minimal and a single maximal to find out the greatest and least element in any poset diagram or in any haze diagram. So this is simple. 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. One more thing that I have to tell you, that the flow is like this, lower to upper, means you don't have to draw the arrows, but if you want to find out, so this is connected to this and this is connected to this and this is how it goes. So this is the minimal element. I'm not going to repeat every time how to find out. And this is the maximal element, as you are having only one minimal, one maximal, and that condition that A1 will never appear in the this section is true. It will never appear this side. In the same way, 6 will never appear this side. So this is also true. So this is maximal and this is greatest and this is the least element. One more example that we have studied and that was this one, where we are having multiple max and multiple minimals. So if this is the case, you can simply say there is no least element, there is no least element and there is no greatest element, as we are having two maximals and two minimals, and this is not possible to find out in this case. Now, what are the upper bounds and what are the lower bounds? So let me remind, just perform a quick revision. I have told you that there are certain um, special characters or special elements in the poset, and we have find out how to find out, if given a haze diagram, how to find out the minimal and maximal element from that. So maximal and minimal element will be, no element is related to a particular element, then that element is minimal. If an element is not related to any other element, then that is maximal. Then we have studied the greatest and least element, how to find out. And now I am going to tell you what are the upper bound and lower bound. How to find out the upper bound and lower bound. So let me write down. So these are what are upper bound and how to find out the lower bound. Okay. So let's see the upper bound definition. So A is related to A is called upper bound of subset B if, okay, let me first write down upper bound and this is lower bound. So A is called upper bound of subset B. Okay, B is a subset of A if for all x belongs to B. What does that mean? This means that belongs to A, the element belongs to A, is called the upper bound of the subset B if every element of B is related to A. I'll explain that. First of all, let me write down the definition. In the same way, this is called the lower bound of B, where B is a subset of A, if A is related to X for all X belongs to B. What does that mean? Just simply read the definition, and I'm telling you what is that, what does that mean. So we are having a set A, okay, and A is a element in this set. This is the set and this is the element. One more important thing, that there is a subset B out of this A. So now we are having two sets. First is A that contain all the elements, and another set B that is the subset of A, part of A. Suppose there is element A in this A. So the up what will A will be the upper bound when this condition is true. Means the element in this set is denoted by X. Means every element of B, every element x1, x2, x3 is related to A somehow. It is related to A. This condition is true. Then we can say that A is the upper bound. And in the same way, if there is element B for which this condition is true, means A is related every other element of X, then this will be called as lower bound. So this was the definition. Now let's do it with some examples. So only two things you have to keep in mind, that you have to first of all take the whole set A, then you have to only focus on the subset part. So consider the subset B, then you have to find out a particular element from A that is related to every other element of this. A is related to every element of X or B, means X, then A is the lower bound. If every element is related to A, then A is the upper bound. So this is how you can simply find out. Let's consider this example. So this example says that we are having a set A. Okay. What does set A is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple. B is a subset. What is B? 3 and 4. Okay. Whatever the relation is, the Hayes diagram is something like this. This is 1, 2. This is 3. Okay, this is 4. This is 5. This is given to you. I don't know what is the relation, what is the opposite, but this is given. This diagram is given. Now you have to focus on this subset. This is your subset. Okay. Now you have to find out the relation, means you have to find out X related to A related to X. All such relations you have to find out. First of all, make pair of ordered paired, and only select all the relations that are connected to 3 and 4. 3 and 4 you have to keep in mind now. So if I write down all the relations, then it will be, first of all, I am writing all the relation with A. So I am writing 1 is related to 2, 1 is related to, no, 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4, 1 is related to 5, 1 is related to 6. Okay. Now let's see the 2's connection. 2 is related to 3, 2 is related to 4, 2 is related to 5, and 2 is also related to 6. Next, 3 is related to, anything is related to itself, I'm not writing that. 3 is related to 4, 3 is related to 5, 3 is related to 6, 4 is related to 4 itself, I'm not writing 5, 4 is related to 6. Okay, 5 is not related to anything, 6 is not related to anything. Now you have to find out the upper bound and you have to find out the lower bound. So you have to tell me the upper bound and lower bound. So upper bound is, I already told you, you have to identify all the elements that you can derive from upper bound. Means you have to find out all the elements that you can derive from this set 3 comma 4, 3 and 4. You can write this also to avoid the confusion. Okay, so you have to find out all the possible pair that you can derive from 3 and 4. So you can derive 4, you can derive from this also. These two are the part of the set now. So you can derive from this, you can derive 4. Okay, so upper bound write down 4. From 3 and 4 you can derive 5 also. So 5 is also upper bound. From this set you can derive 6 also. 6 also. I'm not writing 3 because from this you cannot derive 3. From this you can derive 3, but from this you cannot derive 3. So this is not the case. So we have 3 elements in the upper bound. In the same case, you have to find out the lower bound. Means you have to find out the elements that derive 3 and 4. See, 1 derives 3 and 4. So 1 will be in the lower bound. Does 2 derive 3 and 4? Yes. So 2 will be in the lower bound. Does 3 derive 3 and 4? Yes. 3 also derive. Does 4 derive 3 and 4? No, it all only derives 4. It doesn't derive 3. So now this is your answer. The upper bound is 4, 5, 6 and the lower bound of this diagram is 1, 2, 3. So this is how you can simply identify the upper bound and the lower bound, the condition that I have given to you. You can simply use that or you can simply perform it like this. This is the last question in this series. So you are having a haze diagram like this. If ever you find out that there is a confusion between connections, so you can simply draw the arrow for your sake. Means you have to move like this. So earlier you don't know, means 3 is connected to 4 or not, but you cannot travel like this. You have to traverse in this direction, not in this direction. So this is the case. Now I have a subset that is 4 comma 5. So you have to basically focus on this part. So again you have to find out all the connections of with 5 and 4 and you have to find out. So I have told you, just write down. One is related to 2, one is related to 3, one is also related to 4, one is related to 5. Now 2 is related to 3, 2 is related to 4, 2 is related to 5 also. Now move on to 3. 3 is related to, because okay, 3 is related to 5 only. 3 is related to 5, nothing else. Now 4 is related to 5 only. Okay, 5 is not related to anything. And the part that we have to focus is 4 and 5. So for lower bound, if you have to find out lower bound, you have to find out the element that derives both these. So 1 can derive 4 and 5. 2 can also derive 4 and 5. Okay, and 3 cannot derive 4. 3 cannot derive 4. Okay, now 4 can derive 4. 3 can derive 3. So 4 can also derive 4 and 5. So this is your lower bound. Now you have to find out the upper bound. Means you have to find out what 4 and 5 gives you. 4 and 5. What 4 and 5 leads to. This side you have to have you have to have 4 and 5. So your upper bound will be anything that leads to you to 5. So 4 is related to 4 and 4 is related to 5 also. 4 is related to 4 and this side 4 and 5 from where you get this side 4 and 5. So from the diagram you can say that 5 will be the upper one. As 5 is at the uppermost position and it never appeared in this side. It never appeared in this side. So this is the upper bound. Thank you for this lecture. Have a nice